Goodness gracious. Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. Hey, we're here live at the Build Studio in New York City. NBC's Blindspot kicked off its 4th season last week. And as we saw in the season 3 finale, there were cliffhangers aplenty, so the team is dealing with some major, potentially earth-shattering changes right now. However, one particularly exciting change is fan favorite tech mercenary Rich Dotcom getting an upgrade from recurring role to series regular. That's right, more Rich, and who's not a fan of that. Here to chat with us all about season 4 is Rich himself, the great Ennis Esmer's in the house. How do we feel about that, guys? Make some noise. Ennis is awesome. He's awesome. He's in the building. We're going to bring him out in just a second. But first, I believe we have a peek at the next episode. So let's go ahead and run that clip.
Oh, wait a second. Something else is going on here. Oh, I've never noticed this before.
Yeah, the color and texture of the stonework is different.
Right?
Yeah.
No, we need an expert. We need someone from the art world.
I have a contact at the National Gallery.
No, not some stuffy museum mouse. We need someone with some street cred. You know, maybe somebody we've worked with before?
Who in your Rolodex of misfit toys do you have in mind?
Maybe Boston?
Boston or less crap. You want to use this clue as an excuse to bring in your ex-boyfriend.
You know what, now that you're suggesting it, I mean...
He's under house arrest.
Yeah, so he's just sitting around waiting to be made useful. All personal opinions aside, he's a world-class forger and his first love is sculpting.
He is a con man and a hacker, not to mention an arrogant pain in the ass.
Whose expertise could crack this whole tattoo case wide open? Are you willing to risk the lives of thousands of people just to avoid working with Boston again? Patterson?
I'm thinking.
All right, guys, put your hands together. Make some noise. Ennis Esmer's right here. Here he is.
Hi, hello. Ooh, this
yeah.
is very. Look at this, it's an interactive
nice?
screen. That was my first time watching that clip. I haven't seen it yet, so I was excited. I'm a fan of the show too. So.
Okay, there we go. I was going to say, how much of the show do you typically catch?
I mean, I try to watch every episode.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I was starting out. My first episode was the 9th of the first season, so I definitely caught up and took it all in at that point. And you know, a good friend of mine created the show as well, so Martin Garrow. So in support of watching his work, even before I had selfish reasons to do it, I was trying to support my fellow Canadian.
That's fantastic. First of all, thank you so much for being here, man.
Oh my God, thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you.
Thank you guys for coming. Hello, how are you?
Yes.
Wow, a round of applause for yourselves. That's
Yes.
definitely needed.
It's,
Those couches look comfortable. Mine is kind of, it's propelling me forward. I
It's
like
firm,
that.
yes.
It doesn't let you slouch.
It won't.
You don't want a nice slouching couch.
keeps you in the moment.
It's
keeps
weird
you
that
present.
slouch and couch rhyme, though, because
Slouch couch. Yeah.
they're so, opposing.
Is that weird?
Is this a couch?
Well, no, this is more, it's...
It's a chair. What am I
Yeah,
saying?
it's
But it feels like a couch.
it's leather bound, right?
This is- I feel like we are
Can a chair be
building.
leather bound, or is that that's only books are leather bound?
It is bound by the leather.
Is it not?
I think if you were to remove the leather that binds it,
What
it
would
would no
you-
longer be a chair.
What would you even have at that
You
point?
wouldn't just have raw materials.
That's right. It'd be ridiculous.
You'd be a bunch of leather away from a chair.
That's
There you go.
precisely it.
This is good stuff, guys.
This is the net. We're going to do 20 minutes just on the chair.
Yeah,
I hope
just
you
on
guys
chairs.
don't mind.
Stay tuned for some excellent gardening tips.
That's right. We're going
Yep. Home and garden stuff.
How are you
I could
doing?
talk about upholstery for an hour.
We could,
Yeah.
and we knew that. They told
Yes.
us that when we booked you. They said, just be careful.
That's why I don't do more shows,
Don't let
because
him
they
get
don't.
off on the
Like, he just
upholstery
wants to
tangent.
talk about seat cushions and
That's a secret
chaises.
passion of yours. You and every Canadian, from what I understand.
We love. Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay. That's. I thought you had another Canadian guest on that was like, oh, I love reclining.
You're the first.
Yeah.
In general.
This is nice. All right. Well, as long as everybody's comfortable, that was my main concern.
They appear very. Yeah, I think we're all quite cozy.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
great,
no, we're
great.
good. We're in a great place.
Okay, great. Oh,
Congratulations, not only on season 4.
Thank you.
I had mentioned this briefly in the introduction in the room. This is a pretty cool thing, and it seemed like it was an inevitable thing.
Yeah.
You are a series regular now. That's a big deal.
I don't know about inevitable, but it's definitely a great trajectory to follow.
Yes.
You know, I did one episode in season 1. I had no expectations of anything else, and then they brought me back for one, and did 2 more in second season, and then just slowly, it's like just a warm bath. Like they're trying to make people. You don't want to just shock people with me. You know what I mean?
You've got to
Yeah.
get
You
eased into it.
gotta really, like we've done to you, poor people. But Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's a dream job. You know what I mean?
It's really cool, man, and a lot of people are excited about it. You've always been a fan favorite. Your character, even when we only got little bits and pieces, there's something about you that connected. There's one fan in particular. I was browsing last night that I got really excited when I saw that. I thought this was the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
We have an image. I screen capped it and brought it up here. It's this is your dad.
This is my father,
who had a review of season 4.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna freak out when he sees this.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. So my dad, he's a proud father. It's nice. It's nice to not have he doesn't have to lend me money anymore. He feels good about that. And he's retired, so he has a lot more free time, and he's calmer. So he does stuff like this, where he just texted me something that was just a paragraph that was like, "Oh, love the show. How come you guys talk so fast all the time? Sometimes I can't hear over the music. I don't understand what happened." And then I posted that on Instagram, and people were like, "Oh, he's got to do this every week now." So he's now writing reviews.
Yes.
Yeah, we even did a video where he's reviewing every episode, and
That's what I loved about it was the evolution of it, of just like regular parental feedback.
Also, like there are like childhood friends of mine that are also on the show, like Aaron Abrams, who plays Matthew Weitz, who's the new director of the FBI. He and I have known each other since we were 12, so he calls him Aaron, but then later refers to the character Blake, and it's like, you know. And he goes in and reads the comments and answers the questions and stuff afterwards, and
I love it.
This is his new unpaid gig.
Right, and I just love watching him find his voice as a TV critic.
Yeah.
Just
wow, what a start to season 4. Excitement right at the beginning with rooftop sword fights.
It's so good.
Nice. And then he puts his own op-eds in.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
But it was like a switch flick because they were really cute and just sort of how he talked in his voice. And then one week he really shifted, and it was like he took a course or read a book on like criticism, modern criticism. So
he's like, well, if we're going to be posting these on the internet, I got to start taking this thing seriously.
Yeah. He read a bunch of The Village Voice, and
and now
now he knows how to write reviews.
He's not wrong though. That season 4 opener, what a hell of a scene! What a way to kick things off.
I mean, you start with a rooftop sword fight.
Rooftop sword fight. That's a hard place to go anywhere from there. But you guys are doing a great job so far. Talk to me about filming that. That whole sequence was amazing.
Well, we went to Tokyo.
Did you really?
We were shooting in Tokyo. We were there, and it was right outside the Tokyo Tower. We were on a rooftop, and it was Martin Garrow, who was the creator of the show, and he also directed that episode. He did a thing where they put like LED lights around the railing, so everything was kind of lit up. So it also looked kind of intense and even somehow cooler than it was. And then it's a 1-on-4 sword fight, and they had stunt performers working on it for months because there's so much to do, and I basically had to cower in the corner, which I've spent my life prepping for that part.
Sure,
for that role, yeah.
For the action, of course, there's a little bit of cowering, but I loved
just a little bit of cowering.
Just a smidge.
Get a little bit of cowering.
Just a scotch.
Yeah.
I enjoy just opening the season with Rich and with just like in that moment of like, there's no way he's going to pull this off.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
right
pretty
away.
Ridiculous
like,
heist.
what is he doing in this scenario?
Yeah, it's weird that they've trusted me to this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They've got me as the face man in this weird sword heist where they're going to steal a data file and. Yeah, so it was a thrill to be a part of it.
Were you surprised when you saw that coming through? Just like as a viewer, as a fan, was surprised to see that. Were you excited? Oh, this is a great thing. I get to do some more stuff now.
Yeah, they brought me to Japan to shoot a TV show. It's pretty great. You know what I mean?
To be upset about
no, I know. I was just waiting on is it Pins and Needles? Are you on Pins and Needles?
You can be on Pins and Needles.
Do you wait on Pins and Needles?
Yeah,
it's not.
Right?
Is
People?
it on?
Nobody's saying no. There we are.
Is it? You wait. I was on Pins and Needles. That's a correct.
Edge of my seat. Pins and needles.
Edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat. Even on the edge of this seat. Speaking.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. Not by choice. And when the script came in and they're like, you're gonna kind of be undercover trying to get this, and I had to learn Japanese for it and the whole bit. So it was great. I had to learn a couple of lines of Japanese because I have to present the sword to a gangster that's in Japan.
That's right.
Yeah, and then she turns out that she knows who I am.
You crushed that, because for a second I was like, oh, no way, this dude speaks Japanese too. I know like it's all a show, but like the way in which you did it, it didn't feel like somebody that only had to learn a few words.
That's very nice of you, because honestly, it was on the chair next to me. No way. It was because I do a bow at some point, and I was really looking at it because it was one of those things where I practiced it, but it's so different from language. Like I speak Turkish, speak English, I get a handle on certain languages. Yeah. This I couldn't. I was reading it, I could read it, I got the pronunciation right, and then I could not memorize it. It just wouldn't stick in my mind. So
it's crazy.
They were like, "It's fine, it can be on the chair," which I mean, Brando did that, so
that's true. You're pretty much Brando.
Basically Marlon Brando.
You're basically Brando.
Yeah. Except there were swords, so there was a lot going on. You know?
Well, I mean, have you ever seen anything about the island of Dr. There were swords and stuff there.
That's true. There was
crazy
a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on.
Jim
there.
Henson involved in that?
I don't know that he was. There were creatures though.
Industrial Light and Magic, maybe.
Did you see the chairs they had?
They had some nice chairs.
Nice chairs.
Any horror movie worth its weight. You're gonna have a nice chair, maybe some nice pin cushions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, only the finest.
Even some ruching, maybe, which would be nice along the side, a little touch. You know what I mean?
At
Can
you
you
with
ruche a couch? I don't know.
I don't know, but I felt like I was learning a new vocab word. What ruching?
I'm glad. It's like a crinkling of fabric. You've seen it.
Oh, okay.
Unlike a dress, the fabric
Yeah,
will be kind of
no.
punched up.
I'm picturing it now.
Ruching.
Ruching.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this.
The word of the day.
The word of the day is, in fact,
ruching.
Ruching.
So.
I had read something a little bit earlier too, Jamie, talking about, of course, you've got the split situation. Now she wakes up as her evil counterpart, and that's very exciting because we've only seen that in flashbacks and stuff like that before.
True.
I've only got bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But there was a piece in particular about working with you and how the relationship with Rich this season. You guys are having a lot of fun in between takes, she said, and you guys are laughing a lot between stuff because
I told her to say those things.
Oh, that's what I figured.
I want to seem like a cool guy.
What is no, fair enough. You know about ruching. You've taught me so much. What was it? What was it like working with her this season? How is the relationship different this season than in the past?
I mean, it's the same. She's a sweetheart, so it's not like it changes the vibe. Like she's not method with it. Like where suddenly she's like an evil villain and wants to kill us all. You know, that'd be a weird thing to go method on. I think you really have to be. Yeah. How do you prep?
Very carefully.
But just a second, I'm going to have a sip of this water.
Go for it. I'll talk over it while you're drinking your water there. Only the finest, clearest, cleanest water available here on the build stage. You were saying?
Ted Cruz moment there. No, what's his name? Different guy.
Hope not.
Who was the guy who had the dry mouth? I can't remember.
Oh, dry mouth.
Well, now I'm having a dry mouth moment. Dry mind moment, really. Rubio, Marco.
There it is.
Yeah. There's a reason that name's not coming to mind.
Yeah, we're not committing all of those to memory.
Yeah. I'm hoping to forget about it. Anyway, it's fun to watch her shift gears, and we actually had a special sort of take set up in each of the scenes where she has to kind of show that side of her because she kind of, she's angling and plotting against us, but she's also got to present like she's not. So that's really fun to watch, and it's a fun thing to watch an actor get to do. Yeah. Do we have any actors in the crowd here tonight?
Any actors in the crowd? There we are.
You get to play a big secret. It's fun to do something like that, right? Where you're like, so you know something someone else doesn't know, and you need the camera to know it, but you can't, or the audience to know it, but nobody in the room. So that's a fun thing to watch happen.
I was in that same interview. I lifted all my questions from this person's interview. No,
sounds like a great interview.
It was a fantastic.
What were they sitting
interview.
on?
They also pin cushions.
Oh, very nice.
I've tried to replicate the entire experience. It seemed to work so well.
Wow.
No, but there was a brief mention, and I totally got this because of the relationship prior to Remy. Remy kind of hates Rich, and so Rich is kind of the only guy to sort of sense that something was amiss, if you will.
I mean, I think.
Were you playing that intentionally, or were you just?
I think Rich is always kind of scrutinizing quietly everybody's motives because it's a weird little thing because he's still kind of an outsider and joined the team later and it's more fun to play that way if you're kind of like, what is your deal today? Or, I like to think of it. I like to think of the FBI as like an office job. So it's always fun to imagine like who was in traffic that morning, who made a bad breakfast choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who's gassy? Whatever it is, I like to even if they're not playing it, I like to imagine it. And with Jamie, so she's playing Remy. It didn't seem that much different because she's usually frowning at me making inappropriate jokes in the scenes, like as written. So it wasn't that much of a stretch.
So it wasn't that much of a change.
And I didn't want to get ahead of it too much, but I think I wanted Rich to have figured it out before everybody, but the writers were not into that.
You speaking of the writers, one of the things they do so well, especially around season 3, they started bringing you back and finding balancing the tone of being able to be super dark, but also have these really funny moments, laugh out loud moments. You are a very funny individual. I'm having a great time with you here.
I'm trying to be.
Do they allow you to play around at all in a show that's so tight and so complex in the narrative? Are you ever given an opportunity to mess around a little bit?
Yeah, they get a lot. They really do. I mean, I remember the first table read I had, I couldn't believe. I felt like I was in a prank show, like pranking Blindspot. Like there was a different show that I was in the cast of because they were all just like, who is this guy? This is insane. But no, they definitely give us room to play around. And I think you know, the writers just sort of found that it's good to have to give that a bit of space, and then, you know, if you needed they let me do it enough that if they say stick to the script, I stick to the script. Yeah. So, but it's better if it's something that's worked out among people that are together, not just one person sort of just trying to, you know, upstage everybody, which I do like to do. But yeah, I mean, Ashley Johnson is phenomenal for this, and a lot of our scenes are together. And do we have people familiar with Ashley Johnson? She's phenomenal. She had to work today, unfortunately, so she couldn't make it. So that was too bad. I know she would have been great. You would have been seeing some great A patter. But she is amazing to work with, and really plays like, I'm kind of the heel. She's a straight man, straight woman. And we have that back and forth. And Rob Brown is another one who just, like, he does so much with so little. He's so stoic and like, there's deadpan. I could try to do deadpan, but deadpan is like something you're born with. Yeah. And he can do, like, he goes like this, and he's conveying so much. You know what I mean? And usually it's like, oh, Rich, shut up. But it's yeah. So we do, and the whole thing's fun. So we get that.
One of the things I was really delighted to read when I was doing some research on you, I didn't realize that you had trained a little bit back in the day at Second City.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there's anything that you've carried with you through the years from your time there, even in this experience where you get to play around and sort of ad-lib and have some fun.
Yeah.
What from Second City have you kind of brought with you from gig to gig over the years?
I mean, it's funny because I did it I was in high school.
You were high school, right?
I wasn't taking like the conservatory. I was just taking classes on the weekend. It was weird because there were like veterans from improv doing it, and people who were there for like public speaking just to get more comfortable. But I went to a fine arts high school, and there was an improv class in there too. But definitely to the detriment of my other classes and my homework, I took Second City classes on the weekend. I know, it's just about you know, listening, having a good time. Like, that's the material is there from the people in front of you. Yeah. That's sort of what. Like, even if there's a script, and even if you're not adding dialogue, there's so much that's right there in front of you just from being in a room that you can't really replicate. You know, a lot of times in TV shows, you rehearse it that day, if at all. Yeah. You know, so, because the pace is so fast. So just to be able to be dialed in to be like, okay, what's going on with people today? What can I play? And you know what I mean?
Do you work better when you do get the rehearsal, or do you like flying by the seat of your pants with the running at that pace?
I mean, I think everybody likes to rehearse, at least so that, you know, you want to remember it so you can forget it, as opposed to just never knowing it in the first place. It's always good to have a structure that you can go back to and sort of come out of and go back into. But, you know, I'm fine with this too. It's intense.
Yeah, speaking of Second City, before we turn over to the audience, we're going to go there in a little bit. But you just did some work on Schitt's Creek with Eugene, Catherine O'Hara. I mean, legendary.
I mean, absolutely. That was incredible. I didn't actually get to work with Catherine.
Okay.
We did meet briefly at the rap party, but I was working with Eugene Levy, and it was amazing. It was incredible to work. And most of my scenes were with Emily Hampshire, so sort of she's incredible.
Yeah, the whole cast is incredible.
Dan was there, and it was so, and Chris Elliott as well. Like, it's just, it was wild. That was easy to be just a straight man there, because they're just doing bits and working stuff out. And sometimes I guess that's the most fun thing, is that Eugene would like look at the script and be like, okay, what about this? And then try something, and then they're doing it together, and they're kind of trying to top each other, but in a fun way. Yeah, it was a great set to be a part of.
Are you learning anything? Are you watching that and trying to absorb new, like watching like a Jedi Master?
Can't help
almost,
it, but do that. You know what I mean? And just the stuff he's doing, just with, again, it's like a deadpan. I mean, Eugene is such an active, emotive face, but these are legends we're talking about here. So 100%. I was just sitting there watching. I'm sure there's stuff I've learned that I'm not articulating. It's just there. It's like, oh yeah, right.
I'm gonna tuck that away.
Yeah, good move.
All right, last thing.
Put a napkin
we're coming up. We're mere days away. I know Halloween's a big deal for Jamie. Is Halloween a big deal for you at all? Has it become a big deal from working on the show with her or anything like that? Or?
No, you know, I always found Halloween. I feel like my job is Halloween, so I'm dressing up to pretend to be people. I feel like when I wanted to dress up for Halloween, it was when that was my only chance to really get to do that. But I'm fortunate enough that my job, and there's usually candy, so there's also that. At work there is candy, which is a nice deal if you can get it. So no, I think I don't really fuss too much about Halloween. Also, I find it kind of actually spooky a little bit. It's
really?
There's a darkness to the night sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. We don't need to crack into that. I'll talk about that with my therapist. But
I was gonna say, do you want to? Because I'm about to dive real deep into that.
No, you know, I think a house party's fine. I think but there's something about being out on Halloween. Some people love it. I find it to be. It gives me a sense of doom.
Wow.
So yeah. Does anybody else know what I'm talking? Does anybody else dislike Halloween? There's something genuinely kind of eerie about the whole thing, you know, people in masks and
that's the whole
it's
bit.
Not quite the purge, but there's a bit of an abandon of who you are. that I think in the wrong hands and in a big group, and you mix in alcohol and everything, can be a little intense. But a house party with costumes in it, with people that's a nice environment.
Where do you fall on like ghosts and all that? We're going. I'm asking you about ghosts. Listen, what I'm doing.
I think if I was, to just even reference my own personality habitually, I don't believe in that. But every story someone's told me that's about ghosts, I can't explain how it's not a ghost.
Same thing.
You know what I mean?
100% same.
Like I woke up in the morning and the waffle iron was on, and they had rearranged the fridge magnet letters.
I'm always good with.
A cat can't do that.
Couldn't possibly tell you. Something did that.
Something
I can't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
I'm a big aliens guy. Aliens freak me out.
Okay.
That's my thing.
What
Can't
about
handle it.
alien ghosts? What
I
about
don't even. What are you doing? Don't
aliens?
say that. Don't.
Think about it. There are alien ghosts haunting Area 51.
There would have to be.
There would have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing experiments. You don't think they're being haunted?
Say such a thing
some
on a Friday. This is. I can't handle this.
Well, it's not Friday the 13th, so we're okay.
It's not Friday the 13th.
But if it had been.
I wouldn't even continue with the audience question.
Ghosts? Can I ask you guys? Ghosts? Yes or yay or
ghosts,
nay?
Yay or nay? Show of hands.
Show of hands
ghosts.
if you believe in ghosts.
Okay. One, two,
Okay,
three,
I'm
four,
going
five,
to take
six,
another
7, 8, 9.
step further. If you've actually encountered a ghost. Anybody?
Got
Yeah?
one.
No?
And we got a
two?
so-so.
Okay, well, we got a mic. I want to hear the ghost story. That's really,
Okay,
I really want to hear
let's
because
get into
I'm
audience
here to
Q&A.
believe you.
We're
Like
going to
the
come
ghost
around. You have the ghost story, right? We'll get to you eventually. But first, let's start. You have a mic in your hand, sir. Please kick it off.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Ennis. How you doing?
Good. How are you? What's your name?
My name is Kim.
Kim, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, on the show, Rich Dotcom
Yeah.
is comedy relief.
Yes.
But are you jealous or envious that you don't get any action scenes, or do you actually care about them?
You're in for a treat. I mean, listen, technically running around the corner to hide from a 4-on-1 sword fight is a part of the sword fight.
And you had a stunt.
You know what I mean?
Your slip.
Yeah, I did slip, and that happened every time because I was in like a nice leather loafer. Speaking of, again, no ruching, but
No ruching, but, but
yeah, I
held it
did
down.
slip every time, which I consider a stunt. No, no, it's honestly, there's stuff coming up this year that I got to shoot a blowtorch last year. Like, there's plenty. You know what I mean? I don't need to get into the. It's fun to do the day-to-day combat stuff, but that is rigorous, and they rehearse for so long, and like the stunt performers doing what they did in like Jamie's stunt double Heidi is. I can't even, her level of the dedication and commitment to what it is. She started working on sword fighting 2 months early for that. You know what I mean? And it shows, like, it's brilliant work. So that's stuff that's, I would love to do it. If they had it, I'd be down for it. But no, I'm okay running and scampering and wisecracking. That's fine. Yeah. I did get to shoot a gun earlier. That was cool, but That's
fine.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Oh,
done?
no, not jealous. I wouldn't say jealous. No.
You guys you're not done filming this season yet, are you?
No. We're shooting, I think, the 10th episode right now. And we actually just shot some other stuff in Peru recently, which was amazing. I was there last week, so that's cool. So yeah, there's nothing really to be jealous of. I think we're doing fine. Yeah,
Doing just fine.
Yeah.
I'm getting a signal. We only got time for one more question.
No.
It's right here on the orange couch.
Hi, what is the most fun part about playing this character? And how good are you actually with the computers? Did you have a chance to learn some real
boy.
IT tricks doing this role?
Well, there's a term, movie magic, and that's definitely applicable here to address your last question. I am not much of a proficient computer user. I know that I'm only using like 5% of my MacBook's capacity. I can't even really use words. But
10% of your
no,
brain, 5% of your Mac.
the graphic design, everything you see on screens is designed by it was a friend of mine, Ryan V. Hayes, who's an incredible graphic designer, and we just have to kind of play along with it. But no, I myself am not. I mean, it sounds like something I would say if I was a good hacker, that I'm not a good hacker. Do you know what I mean? So no, I'm not a hacker in my regular life. So. There you go. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, and the whole thing's fine. I mean, I did get to shoot a blowtorch, so that was up there.
You keep coming back to
That was up there. Yeah.
keep coming- that's
There was an
where you're
episode where I had to eat pizza, and we shot the same scene from like 10 different angles, so I had to keep eating pizza. That was a fun day until it turned really not fun very quickly.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of
like
cheese.
slice 18.
Yeah, well, they'd been there for a few hours. Is what happened. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm noticing you said the graphic designer was a friend of yours,
Yeah.
show creator, good friend of yours. You're
Yeah.
working amongst a lot of great friends.
Yes.
That's got to be an awesome thing to do, to
It's
show up to
incredible.
work every day, shoot a blowtorch, eat a pizza, and hang out with all your buds. Not to simplify
We
the
would be
process.
doing that even if we weren't making a TV show. No, but yeah, the creator of the show, Martin Garrow, and a bunch of the writers, actors on the show, Aaron Abrams, Josh Dean, are people I've known for decades, and just the fact that we all get to work together is is incredible.
Is that the universe just bringing you guys all together coincidentally, or was it like, hey, this guy's great, we should bring him in?
I think it's more like, you know, that we all did improv and sketch and stand up in Toronto around the same time, like 15 years ago. So I think there's just sort of it's not done. I think it's just, you know, especially Martin, like believing in us and the rest of the cast and giving opportunities to people who you believe in and whose talent you respect and you know, it adds so much more to it to have that relationship exist already.
That's so awesome. All right, we're going to wrap it up, but I just got a message that our Ghost Story audience member does in fact have a microphone.
Oh, fantastic.
So let me hear.
All right, we're going to take a poll afterwards to see who believes it, okay? Does that seem reasonable?
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, so...
What's your name?
Marcos.
Marcos, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Thank you for sharing your haunting story.
No problem. I thought it wasn't, and then I really thought I was like, wait, it was kind of spooky.
Okay, all right, go for it.
So I'm just chilling in the house one day, you know, playing video games a while back, and then I swear I saw my mom walk by the door. So I'm there yelling like, oh, hey, Ma, where you going, blah, blah, blah. I wait 5 seconds, I go, I take a look around, and I realize I didn't hear the door lock, I didn't hear nothing. And then it starts to dawn on me that I'm just like, what the hell? Like, am I bugging or what? You know, and then that was pretty much it. And then I called her immediately. I'm like, where are you? I was like, did you just leave the house? And then, no, she was been gone, long gone.
So it was just somebody walked by.
Yeah, and it's like stereotypical where you saw like the whole white dress type thing. So it was just like, it looked like all white. She dressed like that sometimes.
So you saw it in your periphery.
I saw it in my peripheral and I literally was just like, okay, I see you later. And then a couple minutes later, I was like, oh, did she leave? I went to go check and nothing.
I'm going to ask a couple myth-busting type questions. Are there any white curtains in that room?
No. I'm usually really scientific about this stuff, and I used to watch the Ghost Hunters thing, so you know, you got like stuff in the house moves and falls.
Okay, so you're aware. You're on. And what game were you playing?
Probably Overwatch.
Oh, and is that a spooky game? I don't really know games.
No.
Okay, that's not like a haunt. You weren't looking for it.
No.
In your mind.
No. I
mean, what do you guys think? Ghost or not?
Hey, does your mom
gonna go
typically
Ghost.
wear a white Victorian dressing gown?
No.
Is that
It wasn't.
Did you hear a voice say Zool at any point?
There was no Zool. There was no. What was that word you used earlier for the rush? What was that?
Ruching? No
There
Zool,
was
no
dress with
ruching?
ruching. It was just.
Oh, if there's no ruching, that's a ghost.
And there you're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they keep that in the afterlife. That's too fancy. Maybe.
Yeah, right. They can't.
You know.
Well,
pretty much
thank you for sharing that. Two, the general consensus seems to be you were haunted.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, congratulations. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, it's not something to be congratulated about.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Guys,
No problem. Thank you.
sadly, we are out of time. I got to wrap things up. But, of course, Blindspot, Fridays on NBC. There's a new episode tonight. You're all going to tune in, but I'm telling you, I'm reminding you anyway. Please do me a favor. Make a ridiculous amount of noise for Mr. Ennis Esmer.
Thank
right
you very
here.
much, everybody. Thank you. That's nice.